This is the Marxists at the Movies podcast.
Scene opens, white lights dim down low. The cinema whispers where truths can grow. From shadows deep and screens ignite, the proletariat comes alive tonight. Marxists at the movies, bright and raw, breaking through the reels to rewrite the law. Workers of the world in every frame, changing the credits, rewriting the name.
Hey friends, welcome to Marxists at the Movies.
Hey there.
Your favorite revolutionary film and culture podcast where we do not f around with corporate respectability. I'm Edward Michael Francis.
And I'm Edward Michael Francis.
Isn't that confusing?
Not really.
Oh, okay then. Carry on.
Thanks. Also, happy Pride.
Happy Pride. And yes, it's true. This is our very first ever live audio episode.
Wow.
We've made it through the tech headaches, the late night edits, and a truly unhinged week of yelling at software that thinks it's smarter than me.
Spoiler alert, it wasn't. And I've heard the tapes.
Quick sidebar, actually. We were supposed to launch this episode using our favorite tool, Google Notebook LM. But in a twist so ironic it practically unionized itself, Google couldn't handle our audio file customizations.
Google said diversity, but meant stay inside the lines. Classic.
You heard that right, folks. Google.
Right.
One of the most powerful tech monopolies in the world couldn't make room for a radical queer podcast.
Add it to the long list of things we built ourselves because no one else showed up.
So yeah, we're doing it ourselves. And honestly, that feels perfect. Today's episode is a special bonus from our Marxist at the Music series. And we're continuing Pride Month with an album that refuses to play nice. Got It Out by Cat and the Hurricane.
Yes.
This record isn't just about healing, it's about how healing haunts. It's about survival that loops, pain that lingers, and queer resilience that refuses to die quietly.
Sounds good.
Cat and the Hurricane aren't crafting aesthetics here. They're documenting cycles. Think Till Tuesday if Amy Mann had been raised on queer punk and bedroom synths.
Totally.
The same lyrical clarity, the same emotional incision, but filtered through millennial exhaustion, trans rage, and the refusal to make pain digestible.
And they make it sound so good, too. Like Trauma, but make it vibey. That's talent.
They've said it themselves. Got It Out is about healing, and at the same time, it's never quite that simple. The pain doesn't leave, it lingers. It loops. It becomes the atmosphere of your adulthood.
Like grief you accidentally left open in another tab, and now it's crashing the whole browser.
The album mirrors that truth. It opens big, campy, triumphant, all glitter and guts, but slowly slips back into memory.
Yes!
The last two tracks echo each other like Trauma echoes itself. A dropped call, a click, and a loop back to the start.
Right.
That's what healing is. We can only move forward by looking back.
Shout out to everyone who's ever processed something 5 years later in the middle of a song they thought they were over.
This isn't linear pop therapy. It's queer grief metabolized through melody. And this time, it's even more collective. You can hear it the way Kat and Ben's voices intertwine. In earlier projects, their vocals were often isolated, each artist holding their own sonic space.
Sure.
But on Got It Out, they're in true duet territory, blending, layering, lifting each other up.
Okay.
That shift doesn't just sound good, it matters. Because this record is about shared survival, and that duality, the interplay of distinct queer voices, becomes part of what makes it so singular. It's a sound you can't fake, and it hits harder because it's real.
Like Chosen Family in stereo. And yes, I'm crying about that a little. Mind your business.
Got It Out doesn't just tell a story. It builds a world. One where glitter is armor, heartbreak is rhythm, and every track feels like a chapter in an ongoing survival saga.
Absolutely.
So, instead of talking themes in the abstract, let's get into the details. Here's how Cat and the Hurricane chart that queer loop of survival, one track at a time.
Sounds good.
Track 1, Therapy. The thesis statement, the incantation. We got it out with what we like to call therapy.
Love it.
That line, it opens a door, and the moment those pensive, mid-tempo synths slide in, you know exactly where you're headed.
Absolutely.
Not just into a set of songs, but into a release. Therapy is queer rebellion wrapped in glitter and self-awareness.
Right.
It's a confession booth in reverb.
Mm-hmm.
The verse builds slowly, vulnerable, restrained, before it launches into a Blink-182 meets bedroom pop chorus that absolutely slaps. By the time the beat drops, you're already in it, dancing through the pain. Catharsis turned choreography. A perfect opener that says, yes, we got it out. Now let's go.
Look, if your therapist doesn't open sessions with a synth hook like this, you're in the wrong office.
Track 2, Caffeine and Alcohol. The serotonin spike, the breakout hit, the emotional hanger in 4 on the Floor. This one is pure momentum. Synths punching through the clouds, drums that refuse to sit still, vocals flickering between doubt and defiance. Caffeine and Alcohol feels like being tipsy in a queer bar at 1:30 a.m., halfway to a cry, but still on your feet. It's about chemical coping mechanisms, yes, but it's also about the feeling of being under the influence, not just of substances, but of heartbreak, of hope, of being too alive. Is it some kind of divine punishment, the song asks? Maybe it is. Or maybe it's divine intervention fueled through a banger. Either way, the track is addictive, cathartic, and absolutely undeniable.
The only song that sounds like both your worst hangover and your hottest outfit at the same time.
Track 3, On My Way Back. The dance floor redemption.
Yes!
A queer anthem for moving through trauma. This track pulses with indie pop energy. Its beat, a heartbeat after the storm.
Love it.
On My Way Back isn't just a song. It's a declaration, a middle finger to the systems that grind us down. The lyrics weave pain into progress, a solo project turned communal roar. It's Pride Month fuel.
Yes!
Queer joy, unapologetic. No corporate dollars behind it. Just us.
They said, I will heal, and I will shimmer while doing it.
Track 4, What Is It All For? The Fragile Facade, a critique of performative allyship. Synth lines shimmer like broken glass, exposing the hollow virtue of systems we rage against.
Girl.
It's a mirror to corporate facades, petty slogans, empty promises. Cat's vocals cut deep, demanding authenticity over profit, echoing our spines.
Somewhere, a rainbow logo brand just flinched and doesn't know why.
Track 5, Sweet Thrill, the Electric Sugar Rush. This one opens with a mallet percussion line so light and childlike, it sounds like a little Tykes toy come to life.
Wow.
But don't be fooled. The muted flanger guitars lurking beneath add a flicker of wonder, almost mythic. There's mystery here. Sweet Thrill lives in the liminal, playful but yearning, glittery but not plastic. It's the sound of queer defiance disguised as joy, the kind that sneaks into your bloodstream and rewrites your pulse.
It's giving gay euphoria via Fisher-Price. And somehow it works.
Track 6, Swimming Part 2. The undertow, the memories. Swimming Part 2 glides like a current you didn't see coming, the second wave you thought you were ready for. It's gentle but unsettling. Melodic ripples over unresolved ache.
Correct.
You can hear the non-linearity in it. The way healing folds back in on itself. Pain resurfaces in quieter forms.
Okay.
The aftershock follows with no warning. It stays. It evolves. I am swimming for my life. Lands like a gut punch, especially for trans listeners.
Totally.
Metaphor doesn't cover it. This is survival. Every breath, every step, every beat pushes back against a world that keeps trying to drag you under. This song doesn't just describe that fight. It carries it. Fluid, vulnerable, fiercely alive.
If you know, you know. And if you don't, maybe just listen harder.
Track 7, Costume, featuring Kilo, aka Skittles. The Unmasking. Here we get their first full-on hip-hop collaboration, and it lands like a revolutionary sermon.
Love it!
The lyrics rip the mask off performative queer inclusion. No matter what I do, I feel like a costume. Kilo fires bar after bar, exposing patriarchal and religious violence. You cling to your Bible to save or outcast us.
Wow!
While asserting survival in the face of erasure.
No way!
Rather ask forgiveness before I seek permission. Sorry, I'm not sorry for simply existing.
Bruh.
This verse reads like a manifesto. Every line marks a boundary, not a compromise.
Sure.
We need protection. They're killing us now. This collaboration, Kat and Ben alongside Kilo, is a blistering act of solidarity and queer futurity. It's artistry in the service of liberation.
Totally.
Lyrically, Costume names the roles forced onto us while demanding space beyond them. Kilo's voice is fearless, calling us to witness our complicity and their resistance. For trans and queer fans, this is more than a track. It's a refusal.
You will not out-rap a non-binary dyke in combat boots. Don't even try.
Track 8, I Wasn't Ready. This track is the slow dissolve. It sits at the emotional core of the album. Emo sadness rendered in soft focus.
Sounds good.
Clean, sparse guitars drift through the mix like unsent text messages. Percussion is nearly absent, offering nothing to hold you up. Only space and grief remain.
Totally.
The refrain, I wasn't ready for you, lands like a gut punch that never quite fades.
For sure.
Kat's vocal performance is the centerpiece. They soar through the track, delivering devastation with elegance. Their voice doesn't overpower the soundscape. Instead, it glides above it, sounding both wounded and weightless.
Wow.
Every syllable carries its own kind of collapse. Every vocal crack is deliberate and honest. This is the quiet breakdown that arrives after the worst part has already passed. It holds the shame of instability, the ache of letting something go before it could begin. Directed inward, this is an apology to the version of the self that couldn't arrive on time.
Right?
This is also the moment when the album's arc bends downward again. The triumph that opened the record has faded.
Sure.
What remains is the complicated aftermath. The listener is now caught in the same cyclical ache the band described, one that never fully resolves, only loops and reshapes itself.
Honestly, if this one doesn't hollow you out a little, you might be the problem.
Track 9, Smoke. The Phantom Burn. This track floats in post-breakup fog, blending memory, hallucination, and relapse. It moves at a steady mid-tempo without dragging. There is urgency beneath the surface, a kind of emotional pacing that never resolves. If Joy Division had written a queer heartbreak anthem for the streaming era, This is what it might have sounded like. A shimmering mallet or a Rhodes-like keyboard pulses through the mix like smoke signals, subtle, eerie, and persistent.
Correct.
The lyrics dwell in the residue of harm. They evoke the lingering presence of a person, a dynamic, and the version of yourself that existed within it. So, if there's no fire, why do I see smoke all the time?
Totally.
That question is not rhetorical. It carries weight.
Absolutely.
This is the flashback, the false calm interrupted by memory. This is where the album deliberately leaves us caught between movement and regression. The fire has passed, the smoke remains, the scent lingers, and the memory holds. This is continuation, not closure.
A love letter to every ghost you tried to outgrow, and they're still texting.
Track 10, The Quiet Exit, or perhaps The Whispered Beginning.
Right.
This unnamed closer drifts in like memory, layered, echoed, more spoken than sung. The instrumentation is wistful, almost weightless.
Sure.
Synths stretch like sighs. Everything feels half there, like a thought you couldn't finish.
Absolutely.
Like running from a house you used to love that now only smells like smoke.
Wow.
This is the moment the band truly gets it out. Not with a bang, but with a reckoning.
Love it.
It's a spoken word retreat, chasing a better future while still dragging the ache behind it. The click at the end, a dropped call, a final disconnection, doesn't feel like failure. It feels like a refusal, a choice not to perform closure, a choice to keep healing, cyclically, imperfectly, queerly.
Queer time isn't linear, and neither is this record. You don't finish it, you return to it.
Got It Out marks a clear and compelling step forward for Cat and the Hurricane. Compared to earlier work like Libra, this album feels braver, more unified, more intentional. The vocal blending is sharper and the themes cut deeper. The band moves through genre with intent, using every sound as a tool.
They're not experimenting anymore. They're aiming. And honestly, they're hitting most of their targets.
But in this author's opinion, it's not the record. Not yet. This is the moment before the moment. The album where they found their footing, built their language, and got their breath back. Now that they've done that, you can feel the next wave rising.
Like they've just taken off the warm-up jacket and now we're getting started.
For those reasons, we award Got It Out 4 out of 5 hammers and sickles.
For sure.
This is growth you can dance to. When the full storm hits, we'll be waiting.
Right.
Got It Out isn't a clean arc. It's not an album that fixes you. It's an album that holds you while you fall apart and invites you to dance through the wreckage anyway.
Imagine if your therapist wore glitter boots and handed you a mic mid-breakdown. That's this album.
This is a queer manifesto, a communal scream, a soft place to land after all the glitter has cracked. Cat and the Hurricane aren't asking for your approval.
Negative.
They're not performing respectability. They're surviving out loud. Just like us.
Say it louder for the rainbow-washed boardrooms in the back.
Stream this. Share this. Talk about it. And remember, pride isn't a party. It's a practice.
Correct.
So that's our bonus for this month. An album that doesn't tie a neat bow, but shows you how the ribbon frays.
And then turns that ribbon into a damn battle flag.
You can also find Cat and the Hurricane Summer 2025 tour info at catandthehurricane.com. Support them, stream the album, and share it out loud.
Absolutely.
If you want to read the full article, head to patreon.com/Cinemarch Media.
Sounds good.
If you believe in the work we're doing here, queer radical analysis, independent media, art that speaks back, join us on Patreon. Membership starts at $6 a month. That gets you 2 full podcasts, plus early releases and bonus content.
You're not just subscribing, you're sustaining. Keep us loud, keep us weird.
This has been Marxists at the Movies.
Scene opens, white lights dim down low.
Thank you for listening to the Marxists at the Movies podcast.
Cinema whispers
Don't forget to
where
like and
truths can
comment.
grow. From shadows deep and screens ignite, the proletariat comes alive tonight. Tonight, Marxists at the movies, bright and raw, breaking through the reels to rewrite the law. Workers of the world in every frame, changing the credits, rewriting the name. Popcorn power and the working class dream, each flickers with a revolutionary beam. The heroes rise from the factory floor, challenging the scripts and demanding more. Behind the velvet curtains lies the fight, directors of destiny taking the light. The dialogue chimes with justice in stride, the proletariat walks where stars collide. Marxists at the movies, bright and raw, breaking through the reels to rewrite the law. Workers of the world in every frame, changing the credits, rewriting the name. Blockbusters topple in an epic embrace.